Never sell your soul for money. How many of us have heard that advice, have got that advice at some point in our lives? Pretty sure most of us can raise both of our hands and say, yes, I did, I did. That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Well, was the advice good? Let's talk about it. So, before we dive into today's episode, I am Tamara Tamu giving you another episode of Unleashed Alchemy, where on this channel we talk about going against the grain so that you can live a soul fulfilled life. So, don't sell your soul for money. Let's examine that. Good or bad advice? So, this is a part of our series where we are bridging the experience of money with our spiritual experience as we live as humans on this physical plane. Spirituality and money go together. I'm not here to convince you. It is what it is. If you're not convinced, then you may want to click off. All right. So don't sell your soul for money, or don't do anything out of integrity for money. Yet, we hear that. We hear that. And it is good advice to keep us as responsible people, to keep us as loving people, to keep us from stepping on other people or doing other people wrong to get money, although we see it every day. But we hear that advice, and the intentions of the people that gave us the advice, their intentions were out of love, and their intention was to make sure that we are giving back to society as human beings. But here's the thing. Growing up, though, as we become adults, we begin to completely ignore the calls from our soul. We suppress our soul desires while we work jobs we dislike and live lives that we are completely unhappy with. We try to pretend by telling ourselves, well, we should be grateful that we have this, that we have that. There's people better in worse off situations than me, so I should be grateful for this. I should not complain. Well, in a way that is positive, but complaining, yet first of all, it's positive because no, we don't want to go into a rabbit hole of complaining, because that messes with our vibration. But at the same time, pretending that we are happy with the way that our lives are and with the ways in which we obtain money, to pretend is also not helpful. Okay? So we enter into these work environments that we loathe. We have, raise your hand if you've ever done this, having a pep talk with yourself as you drive up into the parking lot, looking up at a building where you know that you're going to spend 8 more hours, 8 hours, 8 hours of your life force in a place that you loathe. So you have to have these pep talks with yourself to get out of the car, to go into an entire building, to spend, again, I emphasize, the next 8 hours with people that you wouldn't even choose to hang out with outside of the building, let alone have to talk to them forcefully for the next 8 hours. You have people that have gotten into careers because it made sense, not because they loved it, not because their soul was calling them towards it, but because, well, this is what everyone in our family does. This is what everyone in our family does, so I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to join the family business because this is what is expected of me. This is what people in the family sacrifice for me, so I have to do it. Not because you desire it, not because you want to, not because your soul is calling you to it, but you feel some obligation toward it. Yes, you are experiencing overflow in your money. Yes, you are experiencing having more than enough in your money, but you're unhappy. You're unhappy. Well, that is out of alignment. Whether you're going into a career that you don't like and you keep going to it year after year after year because it makes sense, you're going to a job that you hate, spending your life force energy, giving your life force energy to something that you do not enjoy, being part of a business that you do not enjoy, that is out of alignment, which is the same concept as selling your soul for money. How many times, I don't know how many times, I remember as a young adult in my early 20s, and I would hear people say things like, well, it's funny because I would be talking to people that are my age right now, I'm 47, when I was in my early 20s, and I would hear them say, well, the job is okay. I do it for the money. Clearly unhappy, clearly not fully satisfied, clearly not fulfilled, but they're doing that for the money. Same concept of selling the soul for money. Well, wasn't that the advice that all the adults gave us growing up? Don't sell your soul for money. But then we get programmed to go work a job that we have no intentions of staying at, not even for a year, just because it makes sense. That is out of alignment. Same concept. We are out of integrity of how our soul wants to be expressed. You can tell yourself 1,000 times every single day how thankful you are for a job, and there are people in worse situations than you. There are people who don't have income. There are people who don't have a job. Well, understand this. You sitting in a situation that is not fulfilling is not helping someone that you view as less fortunate as yourself. That is not helpful to them. It's not helpful to you. So meanwhile, as we sit in these unhappy situations, in these unhappy ways of getting money, our bodies are tense and they're clenching with this vision of walking into the job that you dislike, that you are attempting to make yourself believe that you are thankful for. So I can tell you for example, I spent years ignoring the aspect of me that was never meant to be an employee. And this is when you have to know yourself. This is when you have to allow your soul-aligned desires to be at the forefront of your mind. This is where you have to put the ego in its place. Remind the ego what it came here to do. It came here to serve your soul's purpose, not the other way around. So I can only give you an example from my life. What I came here to be requires total freedom of time, space, and rigid schedules. Any schedule other than the schedule I create for myself, unless it's a flight schedule, a cruise schedule, a book tour schedule. Those are the only schedules that I'm available for. I continued to ignore what was aligned for me, even before entering into this physical body. I chose what was deemed as realistic through what I could see through the ego, rather than through the lens of my soul. So stop selling your soul for money. Step into the identity that is truly abundant, that is truly free. Step into that soul-fulfilled vision that says, no, I was not put here to be unhappy. I was not put here to just accept because I don't want to seem ungrateful for what I have, even though I'm not happy with it. No, I was not put here to be put in, be and live and be and exist in that rigid identity. I was put here to be free. I was put here to be free, free to live in an existence where I can cultivate my spirituality, where I can receive the mysteries in my own DNA that instruct me on how to use my spiritual gifts, that instruct me on how to use my magic to enchant every part of my life. I was put here to live a soul fulfilled life where I'm not giving my life force to something that I hate, to something that I dislike, to something that I am unhappy with just because of programming, just because that is what other people around me have deemed to be realistic. I am a cosmic being. I am of infinite intelligence. I am infinite intelligence. And this is what I deserve. So, that is it for today's episode. All right, we are continuing on with this series. We have a few more parts to go until we end the series that is specifically talking about money. This is very brand new for me to do this, and I've enjoyed every single moment of it, okay? And also, don't forget, part of what I'm reading, the excerpts that I'm reading from are from my own book, Tales of a Money Maven, all right? How Religious and Other Programming Has Effed Up Your Money. The book is now available in paperback on Amazon. All right. So until next time, cheers.